Greetings, I'm Rob Chappers. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Today I figured I would eat a nice lolly because it's incredibly warm in Casa Chapa today and talk to you about probably some of my advice on how to join a band, how to form a band. This was one of the Q&A questions that somebody asked me recently on Facebook, and I thought, you know what, it's a pretty good topic to discuss. I've been in about 7 to 8 bands, one of them comprised of myself and my own, and I thought it would be a good idea to talk about how to find band members or how to progress in any way as a band in the modern day and age. Modern day and age being 2016, which is where we are currently. So the first thing to say is that, of course, you don't need band members to do things in music. Obviously, you could just work on your own. There are lots of really clever outfits out there who've strimmed down and removed the necessity for example, a bassist by playing through, like splitting a guitar signal through a pedal, having a stereo output and going into 2 different amps, and lowering one with an octave through a bass rig and then one through a guitar rig. Or playing playing a bass or playing a really low-tuned baritone guitar, and then again splitting the signal, having one go up an octave. There are all sorts of things you can do to remove a bassist if you're a guitar player. And then with drums, obviously, you can record backing tracks. I even saw a band once called Slightly Miffed in Wiltshire, and they had one of those Duracell bunnies. It was like a little, an automaton, a battery-powered rabbit, and it was synced up to a laptop, so whenever the drums played, the rabbit would clap cymbals together. So there are ways of getting around it. Obviously, the dream for most people is to have a bassist and a drummer and, you know, maybe another guitar player or a singer or whatever it is you see yourself doing in the band. People are around you. And for me, that really is part of the joy of working in music, is having a bunch of really good friends that you work with and achieve all these exciting dreams with together. So how do you find people? Well, generally speaking, you go to places where these people are likely to be. Now, this goes for anybody living in a town or a city or anywhere where there are lots of people around you. If you are looking for musicians, well, where do musicians go? They tend to go to live music venues, they tend to go to music stores, they tend to go to nice restaurants, they tend to go to places where they're going to be looking at gear they're interested in purchasing, or rehearsal rooms for finding other musicians. Basically, where do they go? If you can write a list of places that musicians are likely to go and go there yourself, the chances are you'll bump into people who are like-minded. It's the same, it's the age-old advice for looking for a girlfriend or a boyfriend. You think, what kind of stuff do you want this person to be into? You know, are you a surfing fanatic? Chances are you'll meet your bird or woman or man if you go to the sea and go surfing. So yeah, go out. Get out of your bedroom, go to a venue, go see some gigs, and just make some friends. You know, it's a really important thing. This industry is so small. It's really important to make as many friends as you can. And you know what, there's nothing, as you get older, kind of making friends sometimes feels a bit weird, and a lot of people kind of feel a bit strange about going out and talking to a dude and going, you know, we should just be mates. There's nothing wrong with making friends. So I would advise that. However, if you live in a place where there actually is a very low population, and that's an impossibility, maybe there's not even a venue, maybe the nearest music store is, you know, hundreds of miles away from you. And that is the case for some of you viewers, because I know that some of you live in all sorts of crazy places. Online is your friend, and there are bands who work perfectly well together, but being separated by hundreds of miles. For example, Periphery is a really good example of that. The band members live really far apart from each other, but they coordinate with the calendar, they work online, they send each other files, and when they meet up, they're incredibly productive for the time they're together. So as you get older, and your friends kind of move apart and live where they're going to move and get families and wives and things, or boyfriends or whatever, it's important to realise that you can still be friends with people that travel far away, and you can still work with them, because we have the internet now. Life is much easier for us than it ever was for our ancestors. You know, it's incredible what you can achieve with the Dropbox, Skype / FaceTime, and the correct amount of know-how. So I would recommend, if you're looking for musicians, firstly, it wouldn't do you much wrong to post a comment in this YouTube video below and just say, I'm looking for a drummer, I live here, or whatever. But also, you're pretty much likely to have your own Facebook page or your own YouTube channel or some social media outlet, and I would advise you to post and say, I'm looking. And by the rule of the universe, you will know practically everyone on this planet by association with 5 people. If the word gets out through family and friends, you'd be surprised how many people you will know that will know someone who knows somebody who knows somebody who is an amazing musician that you need. So, wow, it's cold. So get out there and get online, and more importantly, before you do any of that, write something. Because if you meet somebody really good, the worst thing that could happen is for them to ask you, what you've done, and for you to go, well, I don't really have any music, I've not written anything. You need to be an attractive proposition for a good musician. Here are some other things that you really need to be able to do at some point if you want to be serious about being a musician. Number 1, learn to drive. Very important. Number 2, learn to use things like Logic and Final Cut Pro and Photoshop, because these tools are the creation devices for making all the album artwork and videos and social media content and promotion of tours and gigs and events and launch parties and things. If you don't have these tools under your belt, you're paying somebody else to do it for you. That's a bad idea. So make sure you are armed with the modern day tools that you need to survive as a musician in a band. Write music. Even if you are a drummer, you can hum a tune, you can get down to some beats, you can have a library of beat ideas, fills, and when you meet somebody, it isn't just going to be, oh, you play guitar? Oh, cool, yeah, I'm a bassist and I'm looking for a band, so I'm into, Pearl Jam, what are you into? You could be, oh, I'm a guitar player, I've written quite a bit of music, I've got a library, would you like to listen to some? Maybe we could hook up and have a jam over some of the tunes. If you don't like it, that's cool. If you do, that's great. It's really important to write music if you're attracting musicians. Maybe have a SoundCloud account. Maybe have a business card made up saying, I'm a musician looking for other musicians, and here's my SoundCloud. Anyway, I hope that helped. Take it easy, guys. Chappers and his slightly melted ice lolly considerably out.